Let me make it clear that Medgar was a pioneer in the civil rights movement. He was there at a time when the media did not find it exciting or worth reporting. I am driven to this day to see that people know who he was and remember what he did. As a matter of fact, it's almost as though it's my purpose for living. Not all of it, but it's a major part of it. This was a man who saw the ills of our American society and who decided that he had to do something about it. Just a week or two ago, in his hometown, there was a monument, a small monument that was placed in the parkway there by the courthouse, where he
just 2 weeks ago,
where he attempted to register and vote.
Ah.
And at that time, Senator Bilbo, Theodore Bilbo, and you'll have to go back into history books to see who he was, pointed at Medgar and his brother Charles and said, quote, "You see those little nigger boys? If you don't vote for me, you'll be voting for him. They'll try to vote, and they'll try to run for office." Medgar's parents, particularly his father, was visited by night riders later that night. And it was just something that said to him something had to be done. He had to do it. His father's best friend was lynched. Medgar said he'd walk in the woods shortly after that happened, and there were remnants of the man's bloody clothes there. So just one thing after another said, you've got to be involved. You've got to bring about some changes. Well, when he left the Army and he went to Alcorn as a high school student, graduated and then into college and that, he talked about the need to register and vote and frightened college students and faculty members as well. And that was kind of the beginning of his
Because they thought
activism.
there would be retaliation?
Yes, because they thought it would be retaliation. Medgar took it upon himself to reach out to a few students at Millsaps College, which was all white, to like-thinking people. And they would have meetings on a monthly basis or so to talk about these things. He always said to me, you don't need to be involved in all of these social groups. And he was referring to our beloved fraternities and sororities and whatnot. And by the way, I am Delta, of which I did not become Delta until after I was widowed, by the way. But he would talk to students at the dances, at intermission, as he would do later on in Jackson, Mississippi, at social events. And people shied away, pushed him away.
They were afraid.
They were afraid. Fear is the underlying factor with that. When we moved to Mound Bayou, Mississippi, after his graduation, he was very impressed by a man by the name of Dr. T.R.M. Howard, who was also working, trying to get things better for people there. Ownership, of being your own boss, of using your mind to accumulate other things and to form newspapers and your co-ops and whatnot. And Medgar was really immersed in that and decided that he could best serve his people by going to law school and becoming an attorney. He was the first known black to file for admission to the University of Mississippi.
Before James Meredith.
Before James Meredith, interestingly so. about 2 weeks ago, there was a statue unveiled on the campus of Ole Miss, a statue of James Meredith, honoring him for breaking the barriers at Ole Miss. And I was invited to that. I wish I could have gone, because they probably would have allowed me to speak. And I certainly would have mentioned the fact
That's
that
right.
Medgar was the first to do that and open the door for Meredith and others to follow.